very good evening. I am Aditi Lamba with this Tuesday's segment of South Asian happenings on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Hope this week is bringing in much productivity and excitement for all as we enter another week of events, dialogues and festivities. The season of summer is often home to several celebrations and conventions which promote inclusivity and connection amongst members of our community. More on how organizations and personalities are strengthening the South Asian presence on the show tonight, so let's begin with the headlines coming in. Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce organizes networking night at the Royal Albert Palace in New Jersey. Up close and personal with Assamese director Bidyut Kokoty at the ITV Gold Studio. Her campus hosts 7th annual Her Conference 2018 in New York City. More details on the other side of the break. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. Welcome again. I am Aditi Lamba and you're watching Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. The Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce has become a welcoming and evolving platform for Indian entrepreneurs and aspirants in New Jersey. The Chamber provides opportunities to meet the need for entrepreneurial leadership in the Asian Indian businesses. With a vast number of Indians residing in the state of New Jersey, the Chamber has been successfully organizing and supporting several business expos, non-profit cultural events, businesses and educational symposiums and humanitarian causes. On that note, let's now take a look at the highlights from Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce's recently held networking night, which took place at the Royal Albert Palace.
We have a very exciting sponsor and presenter company from India and the US. It's a company called Smash.
The entertainment, wherein academy and also the entire community, subcontinent community can come, connect, have a good time, party, and they can still connect to their religion back in India, which is cricket. So when people can come, they can have their parties, they can have their kids play cricket, the adults can also enjoy a game of cricket, and again we go by the same philosophy wherein friends become family and family become friends.
Came today to the AICC program. We learned about Smash and it looks like it's going to be a very exciting new opportunity here in the United States.
Demographics as to when you say New York, have you kind of figured out which localities or which areas? Do you have the demographics done, or are you going to research that once somebody signs up?
So we are quite confident that we first want to start with Edison. Not too sure about, maybe we go down to Texas. I think the Carolinas, what we understand, Florida may be too spread out. West Coast, San Francisco area, Canada, Brampton probably.
I'm the president of the Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce. We are a 20-year-old organization and we do business networking on every month on the fourth Wednesday of each month. Tonight we actually have a very, very exciting program and it's all for sports lovers. I really want to thank ITV Gold for giving us this opportunity.
So there's a lot of exciting things happen, but this is something in the range of Top Golf and things like that, which is for the typical ethnic communities, and it may not necessarily be cricket. It could be soccer oriented, or it could be like lacrosse, it could be like ice hockey, it could be anything very specific to a particular community. So because the software and the technology they've built is pretty much covering all their games. They have Ronaldo, they have simulated all the major guys with their permission, they're paying them royalty.
Now we have an exclusive conversation with someone who is being looked at as a game changer for the Assamese film industry, bringing acceptance and recognition amongst a global audience. Bidyut Kokoty's ability to tell a cinematic tale strikes a chord with all, as the filmmaker's work has reflected upon a deeper understanding and attributes of Indian culture and the region of Assam. The director's new movie Rainbow Fields was recently honored in California during multiple events. First Assamese film to be commercially released in the United States, the movie is a depiction of childhood in a conflict-ridden land during the turbulent days of Assam agitation in the 1980s. ITV Gold's Program Director Ashok Vyas recently spoke to Mr. Bidyut Kokoty, bringing us some great insights into the filmmaker, Indian regional film industry and the greater state of Assam. Let's take a look.
Actually, to be honest, right from my childhood, this was my only dream. I always wanted to be a filmmaker or associated with film. Maybe as a child, you always get more attracted towards acting. As you started growing up, you realize that you get more satisfaction, maybe having more control over the craft than just an actor. As actor, you were just having control about the role given by the director. And yeah, that was the only thing I wanted to do, filmmaking.
নদীৰে উঠি যোৱা মৰা মানুহবোৰ গন্তি কৰিছিলো আৰু এদিন আমি ইয়াত বহি থাকোতে এজন মৰা মানুহ পাৰত লাগিছিলহি সৰু ল'ৰা এটাই তাক ধৰি আছিল ল'ৰাটো বাচিছে না
I have this friend who is some 25 years elder to me. He's a rock legend in Northeast. His name is Du Majau. And way back in 1971, when he heard Bob Dylan's song Blowing in the Wind for the first time, he said that it changed his life. And he decided to thank Dylan. And he thought that everybody writes a birthday card in the birthday. He wanted to do it a little differently. So he said, rather than writing a card, I will do a concert on the birthday of Dylan. That was supposed to be one-off thing in 1971. And it kind of became a pilgrimage for the rock musicians of the country to come and play in birthday of Dylan on 24th of May in Shillong. There's a great story hiding behind that. So I said that I want to make a film. I decided to go to these 8 Northeast states, interact with the group which Lou has selected, then travel with them to Shillong for the grand finale. And basic idea was we were trying to find out that all this estate, which is known mostly for the violence, for the negative, for the gun culture, how these young guys are fighting the guns with the guitars.
Wow.
So how they are fighting the violence with the music. So that was the basic theme of the film, which we started. It was supposed to be a 6-month project when we started. We didn't have money, but once we started the work, it just sucked us in.
কি কথা কৈছা নিয়ৰ মেলি ৰাতৰ সময়ত ইহঁতে এদিন 41টা লৈ নদীৰে উঠি যোৱা মৰা মানুহবোৰ গন্তি কৰিছিল আৰু এদিন ইহঁতে মাছৰ পেটত মানুহৰ আঙুলি এটা পাইছিল
Quickly want to talk a little bit about your new film also. So let's move towards your first film, how that happened and how challenging it was. As you mentioned, the finances is always a problem for any creative person.
My first film was As the River Flows. Before that I did make documentaries, I won few awards and all. But the problem with our society is that the moment you start making documentary, you get branded as a documentary filmmaker.
Correct.
And so people started doubting that whether you can make a film. There, actually, then I decided that let me work on a subject because I started questioning that if I approach a producer, why he will produce my film? What is there in me to make him interested in producing? So I realized that I have to have a story, have a script, which is so unique that nobody else can have that story. And for that, I started looking back at Assam and Northeast. I thought that my USP is this unexplored northeastern part of India, which is not that well known. And if I base my stories on Northeast, I have a better chance of getting some people interested because I strongly believe that human emotions, color of human emotions are same everywhere.
Right.
And if you look at the conflict zone across the world, there are some of the best stories comes out from that. And because Northeast is undergoing a lot of conflicts for last 50 odd years, there were a lot of very human, interesting stories hidden there. So I started looking back at my own experience of growing up. And my first film, As the River Flows, was inspired by a tragic incident of a disappearance of a social activist, Sanjay Ghosh, in 1997, 4th of July. I did not want to make the film on the disappearance. I picked up that as per the Indian law, a person is declared dead only after 7 years of disappearance if the body is not found earlier. So my take-off point was that when Sanjay Ghosh disappeared, there are a lot of news all over the world, and as our human memory is very short, we tend to forget it in due course of time. So my film started that when it was about to be 7th year of the disappearance of this social activist, one friend of his, who is a journalist, decided that now he will be declared dead. Just before he is declared dead, we need to find out what actually happened to him. And he goes back to that area in search of his lost friend. And history almost repeats itself. So that was the basic theme of the film, and National Film Development Corporation produced the film. Unfortunately, it gets entangled in some controversy and did not get the kind of release I thought it would.
Pistol to যেতিয়াই লাগে আনিব পাৰিম সঁচাকৈ মই কেতিয়াবা তোমাক মিছা কথা কৈছো ঐ এতিয়া কিন্তু কোনো কতো নাযাবি নহলে কিন্তু নিয়ৰে গুলিয়াই দিব
I think I strongly feel that if I have to make a film where I have to convince you about the story, only way I can do it if myself I'm convinced about it.
Absolutely.
If I am not convinced, then there's no way I can convince you with my story. So while I strongly believe it's like that the story select me, it is not that I select the story. And that time I don't care about I mean, as long as the story is appealing to me, I think everything else is not that, I mean, I don't worry about that, what kind of controversy it might create. I don't want to create controversy. But most important thing is that it has to excite me as a filmmaker.
Time for a short break. Stay with us on Vision of Asia. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are tuned into Vision of Asia, bringing you prime South Asian highlights from all across. We have tonight the concluding segment from the 7th Annual Her Conference 2018, brought together by media agency Her Campus. A 2-day series of workshops and seminar, the conference offered personal experience and tips and advice for women in media, marketing, and journalism. Focused majorly on the growing space of bloggers and millennials, the conference provided for insights and engagements from industry's insiders. The annual women-focused career conference surely inspired young ladies towards their dream careers, comprising of many activities, giveaways, and keynote speakers, bringing an avenue for like-minded women to come together and create a bigger space for many more like them. Let's take a look.
So we are here at Her Conference. This is our 7th year of putting on Her Conference here in New York City. We've got over 700 college women in attendance, along with speakers from over 90 top brands and media companies. We have 6 incredible keynotes, top celebrities from here in the United States. It's an incredible event, and we're so happy to have you here covering it.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Leslie. I'm the campus correspondent at Her Campus, Arizona State University. This is my first time at Her Conference this year, and I'm really excited to be attending. I'm the only one from my chapter attending, which is such an honor and privilege to be representing Arizona State University. I've met so many beautiful young women here today that are incredibly empowered and have the tools and the want to need to change the world. All these young women have come from different cities, and I think that's what makes Her Conference so exciting and interesting, is that I get to meet and network with these young women from different cities. So I've met girls who it's their 2nd, 3rd time, they've already graduated from university, and I've met girls who it's their first time and they're sophomores or freshmen or whatever. So it's been really fun.
At least in my case, take like a story, and maybe a story that's really in the weeds about something that's super political, and work with writers to kind of boil that down to key points points that then you can tweet out or Instagram out, because our audience on different platforms is very different, and in social media you need to understand how your audience differs on different platforms and also be responsible for sending out the content to other partners to make sure, like, you know, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's there, like, did it really happen? Like, it's your responsibility to make sure the content gets seen, and if the content isn't being seen, no matter how awesome and amazing it is, like, that still comes down on you. And you're also representing the brand, right? Which is a lot of pressure in a way, because you are kind of like that, like, line of defense where it's like, if something gets tweeted out that could get misconstrued and, like, potentially offend someone, like, that comes back on you, and you have to be responsible to, like, be aware and thinking of that and ask for feedback from people. So there's really a lot of different dimensions of social media.
For the Betches Instagram story, I come up with a lot of these concepts myself. So like the Shit Guys text. If you guys know who Jared Fried is, he's hilarious. He does all of our Shit Guys texts. So we take like, I'll take like a, what do you call it, like post-hookup text. It'll be like the guy I'll text you and say like, hey, that was fun, and he'll give like a translation right after it. So it's like just relatable content. So how we come up with these things, like either I come up with them or like I hold like brainstorms with the people that I work with. Like the best part about Instagram story is that it just needs to be like relatable stuff. Yeah. So like the more people that you're pulling and being like, is this work? Is this funny? Like, is this how you feel with that? Like, that's how you can come up.
My experience here has been great. I love it. I'm feeling very empowered.
My first year here, and I'm proud to be a woman.
So for me, I feel like the major difference between last time and this time is really just getting a different opportunity. Because within the past year of being in university, I've really grown in what I want to do professionally. And I feel like just at every stage of college and post-college, this conference really helps you figure out, gain the inspiration you need to take that next step forward.
Write letters to people that you love, because then you'll get them back and keep them. Because all of those things, when you have them written down, there's something about like pen and paper, having something physical in front of you that's really grounding. You know, it's not a phone, because yeah, you can take photos with your phone. Print those photos, have them in a box somewhere so you can physically touch them, because there's something so beautiful about having something in your hands that's tangible that you can connect with, because it brings you back down to earth and back to yourself. Yeah, I don't know, that's something that really comforts me and helps me to stay where I am.
And this wraps up our segment of South Asian happenings for tonight. Send us your events or any suggestions to get your voices and organizations on our show. Write to us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on our Facebook handle @itvgold. You can also now subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch some additional highlights. Come back to us tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for joining us. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Aditi Lambat. Take care and be well.